From a compilation of articles by Rabbi Michael-ben-Pesach, Portnaar. What is spirituality? What is spirituality? Everyone speaks about it. The world is full of all kinds of knowledge, religions, and spiritual movements. First of all, Kabbalah is not a spiritual movement. I could not read it. I could not find it in the deepest sources of the Kabbalah, the most secret books, where I could hear from the great holy people the need to study in a group. It's only an individual path or way. Even when people come together and they sit around the table, everyone is busy individually, and from the inner point of view, he may want to connect himself to others, to everyone who studies Kabbalah with him, but not in a perverse way to dance with each other. There is nothing wrong with dancing together, singing, drinking alcohol together, and going together to the sea. But it makes someone believe that through another person he can achieve spirituality, and that is impossible. It is only you and Ein Sof in all his levushim, levels of dressings. But you must do it, only you, yourself. The questions that you have, you put to your own Creator. Everyone has the same Creator, but everyone has his own soul, and everyone has its own level of spirituality. What is spirituality? What is actually spirituality? This answer we will try to find later in this article. Everyone pretends that he has to do with something spiritual. Everyone pretends that he has to do with something spiritual. I mean, every moment, religion, and they have different, sometimes completely different views. Someone worships animals, and another one the earth, and others take it higher and believe in the omnipotence of the sun or stars. How can we define spirituality? In order to cleanse us from all kinds of earthly imaginations, knowledge, sciences, views that can disturb our wish to build up a tete-a-tete relationship with Ein Sof. It is like this. You can buy a radio receiver of low power, cheap, and you can only receive the radio waves of the city where you live. You can buy a stronger one that can receive a greater region. If you live in America, you can receive then half of the country. There are also receivers that you can catch also the very special, very high frequencies of radio waves, which enable a person to come in touch with a ship that sends some information. So everything is a question from where the information is received. The frequencies of the waves, the higher frequencies are the shorter waves and are the higher kind of information. In such a way works all the spiritual knowledge that is received here on earth. To a nation, a group of people or individuals is given the knowledge with the frequencies, which are low, near to the earth. To others is given the higher. All kinds of wisdom are given on earth from a different level of the frequencies, like this example of the radio waves. All of them, except the Kabbalah, lies within the placenta of the universe, like an embryo lies in the belly of his mother, secured by this place and feeling or comfortable there and sensing and a sense of material. In the same way is everything that is given to mankind. It is within the placenta of the universe. Of course, something sensual resembles spirituality, but everything is within this placenta. And there exists only one instruction that is given to mankind, to receive the spirituality from the source, and that is out of the placenta of the universe. It is from the area where there is nothing material, where no shuttle can ever enter, where no material molecule or atom will be able to enter. And also that place is structured higher and higher to the Ein Sof, up to where it is completely indefinable. That is the area of the spiritual worlds. And over there are 5 principal spiritual worlds. Of course, there are not only 5 as they are endless. We say 5 because between the first, the highest one, and the 4 lower worlds are endless worlds. But through Ein Sof, they are connected with each other. From that place comes the only true spirituality. In this sense, spirituality means, or chaya, the light of life. Only this light of the highest frequency of waves brings a person in human society, the whole universe, the redemption and fulfillment. Every human being has in himself the whole structure of all these spiritual worlds. And by developing these, he can attune himself to these worlds that form the Etz Hayim, the tree of life. In a human being, there are four main places which we have to bring together in order to receive this light. Or Chaya, the living light, that breaks all the resistance in all the worlds and comes to the person who calls for it and who is prepared, who individually works on himself to receive it. How to receive this light, how to bring oneself in conformity with this, we learn in Kabbalah. Just in several words, it teaches us how to connect with four places in a person: his inner eyes, which correspond with his outer eyes, of course, as everything is built up in the same structure; the mouth of a person, what he says; the heart of a person, what and how he feels; and Yesod, the foundation of a person, that place which the outer corresponds with the place of his sexual organs. The inner spiritual work is therefore connecting these four places, which correspond with the four letters of the name Avaya, or Chokmah, Bina, Tiferet, and Malchut. Every time when a person connects these four places in himself to one line, he gets in touch with those areas outside the placenta of the universe, from where the light of life comes. This is the spiritual state. The clue is to learn how to connect, how to make the right connections, and nothing can bring that to a person except the thorough study of the Holy Zohar and Etz Hayim of Ari, and my ebooks that are practical derivatives thereof. That is why it is so important to emphasize that all these aspects, the goal must always be before your eyes. Kabbalah is no religion and no science. Try to listen to what you hear, whereby you switch off your head. I will never say to someone, follow me. After reading, you can think what you want, but first try to get in the information, what I say. Now, it is very important. Every word, every movement I do, I'm not working only with words, but what I say and how I say it. I do it with these four, my inner places. The Kabbalah makes in me all kind of places that are in common with the areas outside the placenta of the universe. That is why the information that you will receive, even from my voice, even when I will not find the right word, from this you will also learn. Kabbalah reveals things and also hides. These two go hand in hand. That is why it is so important to tune yourself in before you will be able to touch the real spirituality. Be attentive. What I said about this light of Hayah, the light of life, that comes from out of the placenta of the universe. Only this light has the higher frequencies that can break all kinds of diseases, all kinds of results of sins of a person. How does a person sin? He wants to receive into his egoistic desires, which are only for himself, so he does it. And even he does not sin with hands and feet or other organs. He can still sin in his fantasy. By sinning in action or fantasy, his creative holy forces are taken in captivity to all kinds of dressings. It gets dressed in unclean powers. How? You will study in the Kabbalah. Of course, you studied something about Lilith and this kind of unclean powers. And in such a way, these balls of lost energy, which a person accumulates, a person can't get rid of. Only this light of life, if one knows how to get it, comes through, balances, and goes through it, releasing the holy powers that are captured inside those balls and frees the living energies, gives life back to a person. In the same way as the method of the right healing, the spiritual healing, not like here on earth. The paranormal things are psychological things, but this is why we say that where all the logic ends, starts the spirituality. The special attitude to the spirituality. The world does not know. I did not meet it in any Kabbalistic school in our time, but only according to the original school of Rabbi, Shimon Bar Yochai, and Ari. One is obliged to do it, to bring himself in conformity by this special attitude. When you read my article, make yourself as small as a point, as a dot. Of course, your ego does not disappear, but at the same time, when you read or work it out, make yourself as a dot. Then you will be able to receive. I do the same when I write an article or give a lesson. Making yourself as a dot is a request and the term by which you will quicker come in conformity with the higher and receive a state of spirituality. Only by making yourself initially as a dot. Why? You will learn that in Kabbalah, by making yourself as a dot, you will lighten your own wish in order to correspond with the higher. And don't fight with what I say, even if it seems to you completely wrong from what you have studied before. Maybe you studied at a school where they told you that the side of science, of Kabbalah, is important. Look what they did. They cut one undividable reality in two pieces. One piece on the right side took form as a religion, and the others took another part on the left side of the reality, such as science. And none of them has the right attitude, because the goal of the spiritual development is to come in conformity with the full and undividable reality. The true spiritual approach to the undividable reality is when the mind doesn't want to overpower the heart. The heart doesn't want to overpower the mind. So they exist together in unity. This is the real spirituality, not when the mind rules, neither when the heart does.